Welcome to Lingua Wire English A2. Today, we have two stories, talks between Qatar and Iran, and Bill Gates on AI and jobs. To help you follow today's episode, full transcripts and vocabulary lookups are at linguawire.com. Qatar's Prime Minister visits Tehran. Now we go to Liam, our Lingua Wire correspondent for World Affairs.
Thanks, Daniel. Qatar's Prime Minister is due to visit Tehran on Thursday. He will meet Iranian officials there. They will talk about reducing tensions. They will also talk about restarting talks with the United States.
So this is not just a visit. It is a diplomatic push. What exactly is Qatar trying to do here?
Qatar is trying to help both sides talk. Officials say they want the right conditions for dialogue. Iran also confirmed the visit. It said the talks will cover regional developments.
That sounds careful. But the goal is still clear. Why does Qatar have this role?
Qatar has helped with quiet talks before. It has acted as a back channel. That was between Washington and Tehran. In June, it helped secure a deal. That deal briefly paused the fighting.
And then that agreement broke down in July. What is the biggest point of disagreement now?
One big issue is the Strait of Hormuz. It is a narrow waterway. It carries a huge share of global oil and gas. Iran wants more control there. The United States wants it to stay open to all ships.
That is a high-stakes problem. Energy and trade are both involved. Did the source give any numbers on the shipping problem?
Yes. Oil flows through the strait have fallen sharply. The report says only 5 million barrels a day passed through on Monday. Before the war, it was about 20 million barrels a day.
That is a huge drop. So we have diplomacy on one side and pressure on the other.
Exactly. The U.S. has said it will increase economic pressure on Tehran. Iran calls those new sanctions an act of economic terrorism. So Qatar is stepping in at a tense moment. But there is still no clear breakthrough.
Bill Gates warns about AI and jobs. Now we go to Mia, our Lingua Wire correspondent for technology.
Thanks, Daniel. Bill Gates is warning that AI could change work very fast. In a new essay, he says millions of jobs may be at risk. He says the change is moving at a mind-blowing rate.
So this is not a small warning. It is a big one. Which jobs does he think are most exposed?
He names law, customer service, medicine, software, and manufacturing. He says AI could take on this work within a decade. He also says some new jobs will appear, but he warns there may be far fewer new jobs than today's jobs.
That is the part many workers will worry about. What does he say is different this time?
He says AI is becoming better at reasoning. He also says the biggest shift will come when AI does nearly error-free work. At that point, companies may want to use it without human checking.
So the risk is not only speed, it is also quality. What about jobs that need human contact?
Gates says even caregiving should be part of the debate. He thinks some jobs may be better left to people. He mentions care for the elderly as one example. But he also says some countries may welcome caregiving robots.
That is a practical question for aging societies. Did he suggest any policy ideas?
Yes, he says leaders should talk now about how to slow the damage. One idea is a tax on AI tokens and robots. He says the tax system can push employers toward machines instead of people. He wants policymakers to prepare before the disruption gets bigger.
So the message is not stop AI, but plan for it now.
Exactly. He is warning that workers need time, and so do governments.
First, 3 words from story 2. Job. A job is work that a person does for pay. In the story, Gates talked about jobs that AI may affect. Example, she is looking for a new job this month. Worker. A worker is a person who does a job. In the story, Gates spoke about workers who may lose jobs to machines. Example, the worker starts early every morning. Policy. A policy is an idea or rule for action. In the story, Gates said leaders need policies for AI. Example, the school has a policy about phones. Now the grammar point, be going to, use be going to for a plan or likely future events. Qatar is going to Tehran on Thursday. AI is going to change work very fast. Repeat after me. AI is going to change work very fast. New this month, the LinguaWire Field Guide. For every news theme, it gives you the 50 keywords to know, the most important verbs and conjugations that cover 90% of the full month's news podcast episodes, and lesson sheets on the fundamentals, how sentences are built, how the articles work, with flashcard practice to test yourself on all of it. Find it at linguawire.com guide.